This demo is about cleaning saw and router bits, because we don't realize that a lot of times the problems we have with a clean cut with no burn marks or a lot of tear out is because not because the blade is not sharp, because pitch and resin is built up on the carbide, and now the resin is running across the wood instead of the carbide. That's what's causing the burn marks, the scorch marks. Plus, the way the resin attaches to the blade or bit isn't uniform, so it can unbalance it. And when you're talking about routers at 25 or 22,000 RPMs and table saw blades 5 to 7,000 RPMs, that's significant. That's quite a bit of wobble. What exactly I'm talking about, I'm going to show you guys, and I'm going to walk up to the camera and show them. But this buildup right here on the face and here, that's going to cause all the trouble. This buildup right here on the face, that's a resin and pitch buildup here and here. And because of that, you don't get the clean edge cut right here. You get a lot of tear out. So this is the problem right here. This is where the pitch and resin builds up and here. And so we want to get rid of that. Right here, that's the stuff we want to get out. Over here on the table saw blade, these sides are, but they're not, because they're covered with pitch and resin. So again, once we get this on the side of the blade, it's very hard to get a clean, crisp cut, because we get burning, we get tear out, plus it can unbalance the blade. Is that okay? All this stuff all over. So, Microjig came out with this neat product, and this is to help us clean these types. First thing is, if we look at this container, we've got accessories that we'll put to good use. This is a handle that we're going to use for this. In this center portion is a reservoir where we keep the cleaner. I'm using today a Simple Green. Simple Green is a great concentrated product. You don't have to use this. You can use other blade and blick cleaners. But 1 ounce of this to 10 ounces of water is making our cleaning solution. A little bit goes a long way. So what I'm going to do with this one, this is very technical, but I've got spaces here for 1/2 inch bits, space here and here for a 1/4 inch bit. So I'm going to place this in here. And we're going to let that soak for a little bit. Underneath, we'll put off these and lift this up. Set this to the side. This is, I've got a microfiber pad in here that's going to be used for getting the pitch out of the way. But it just sits here, it's a great big circle. And all we want to do with this is take our saw blade, get this crazy handle, and pick this up. And we're going to set this in here. And basically we want these to set for at least a minute or two. Another neat thing about this, these are all sealed. So you don't, when this is over, have to dump the cleaning product out. You put the tops on and secure them, and they'll last a very long time. So you just keep using and using it until, if you put a blade in here and can't see the blade anymore, it's time to change the solution. Like I said, this stuff. Oh, also in this, well, you also get this little package of stuff. This is a microfiber cloth, and this is meant for the router bits also. However, you can literally use them for either. But how this works, this goes into a drill. There we go. So I've got the screw here with one of the washers. Put the other washer back on this side. And this does a really good job if you put it into a drill. And just go ahead and use it to clean the edge of the blades, clean the edge of the bits. But this is a nice little feature here. So, that being said,
Does microfiber come with?
no, all comes together. Everything you see here that I'm using today, with the exception of the simple green, comes with this. So, it's been about a minute. So what we're going to do with the saw blade is the teeth are pointing in one direction. I'm going to turn it in the opposite direction. So all you're going to do is just don't think you have to be Hercules and really press this in. You also have lines on the side here and in here that tells you how much fluid to put in. Hey, Tom. Now, just to show you how easy that was, this was the dirty side, and just soaking it in simple green even made it better. But look how shiny that side is now, where those carbide teeth are. So all that pitch that was on that those carbide teeth is gone. And it's that easy. To do the other side, since this has already been sitting in the solution for over a minute, you really don't need to do it again. You can flip it over, and now we're turning this way. Don't gorilla push it down, try to push it through the tabletop. You don't need that. Just the simple, you're twisting with gravity and everything else is all you need. Now this is really good for getting the sides of the blade. Suppose we want to get more than the side. Suppose we want to get to the top. Well, if we want to get to the top, our choices are, we can bring our wire brush this way. We can even use the wire brush to get in between these teeth if we want to. Or we can take this with our drill bit and we can just turn this again away from the teeth, and we can polish the tops too. Or if you didn't want to do that, you could just take one of these pads by itself and just rub it this way. A little solution in there. And this gets the tops very clean. What you want to have with you on your tabletop is some towels that you can set this stuff in to dry. And once they're dry, do we really have anything else to do with the blade? And the answer is yes. You always want to put a dry lubricant on to allow us to prevent rust from attaching to this. And any of the lubricants we have, the spray dry lubricants are good. But all we want to do is just put that down real. So we're done with this. Okay. Again, the really neat part about this is I'm going to put this away for next time. This is sealed. This stuff is not going to evaporate out. Always try to do this. Don't try to tip it, because that water slosh or the cleaner sloshing will unbalance it. So pretend it's Neat stuff. Let's go look at this bit. You saw how dirty this was. And then when we want to take it out, this is where you want to use the brass bit. We can leave it in here. We can take it out, however you want to do it. This is also a good one to use that on a drill bit if you want. You can use the brass bristle brush that comes with this. We've also sell nylon and steel bristles. If I want to use this again, I can come in here. Remember, since you've got, this is basically a cutting edge, you always want to put your finger on the surface and push away, not push in. This router bit I'm cleaning here, this is used in our humidor class. It's been used in about 6 or 8 of them. Yeah. And this puts a lot of strain on this bit. Yeah. It's a great bit. And ideally you want to do this before the buildup got as bad as it was on this. This is one of the worst ones I've ever seen. So, can you rinse this in water? Absolutely, you can rinse this in water. You need to rinse this in water? That's really a matter of personal preference. What I would normally do is I would just wait till this dried, and then I would put the dry lubricant on it and call it a day. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
How bad and nasty that was.
Oh, yeah.
So this really, talk about things for your shop that should have a place in your shop. This is one of the things that really should have a place in your shop, because we lose track of the buildup on our tools just because I've got to cut this board, I've got to attach it to that board, I'm rushing around, and all of a sudden I start cutting maple or cherry and I'm getting horrible scorch marks and burn marks. Well, my blade must be dull. Well, most likely, it's more likely your blade is dirty. And if you clean it, you will find out that you really go much, much longer between sharpenings. Because if this is going to adhere to the edge, if you clean it off, you've got a sharp edge again. Now, over time, eventually, yes, it'll have to be resharpened. But a lot of us, me included, are making a big mistake of not watching the actual cutting surface. And I was ashamed to see this, because this is the one I was using, and it was just horrible. Horrible. And you're going to find out when you use it again, you're going to get a nice, crisp edge. And again, look at this one. This was dull as dull could be, and now by flipping the metal, look at how the carbide sparkles. So it's very easy to clean. The carbide is always going to be thicker than the disc. So the carbide here is sparkling now. You might go, well, gee, the disc, you've still got some dirty marks there. this is going to be deeper into the cleaning abrasion than this is. We really don't care about this. This is where we care about, because this is where the cutting is. This is all. That's why these are wider than this. So friction, wood won't be here and build up heat. If this is covered with resin, then I lose that gap. And at 5,000 to 7,000 RPM, this blade can heat up the wood really, really quick. So it's important to do the whole thing, but what we're really concentrating on is the carbide on the sides. Any questions?